Hi there to you all viewers of Equinoxe Television. It's 6 p.m. by 6 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us on this other edition of the news. My name is Anna Bilaleke. Right away we begin with our major stories tonight. Security forces in the Littoral region, the Mongo Division, to be more precise, have opened investigations after some military men were reportedly killed in a bloody confrontation between some unknown armed men and security officials in the Mongo Division of the Littoral. That was on Labor Day, which was also a ghost town day observed in the northwest and southwest regions. And the wounded security officers are receiving medical attention at the military hospital here in Douala. And also the Labor Day in the northwest and southwest regions. We will be taking you to the conflict-stricken regions of the northwest and southwest. It was observed in total insecurity. Very few people turned out for the event on May 1, which happened to be a Monday. In this edition of the news, we will be telling you more about a timid turnout of workers at the various grandstands in the southwest and northwest regions. Viewers, those were our major stories. Stay with us for details and more. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for being with us. We just told you a while ago in the headlines that security forces in the Mongo Division have opened investigations following a confrontation that took place at the Matuke village in the Mongo Division, which shares boundaries with the southwest region of the country. The divisional officer for Mbanga, during a crisis meeting today, blames the attack on a lack of collaboration from the local population. The wounded were transported to Douala for medical attention, as we hear in the report, which comes up next, compiled for us by Smart Jikan Gabriel.
Hours after the horrible incident that took place at Matuke village in Banga subdivision of the Mongo Division, inhabitants of Matuke are now living in fear. Security has also been tightened at Matuke village. Back in Banga, a crisis meeting was organized by the divisional officer Nkefo Christian, which had in attendance all quarter heads and chief of Koto Up and Matuke village. The divisional officer Nkefo Christian says lack of collaboration led to the attack of May 1, 2023.
Why is it that it's very difficult for the chiefs and the same the population, your population to collaborate? Why is it very difficult to collaborate? We need to collaborate with them. Collaboration is giving vital information. What I need from you is identifying. You need to identify now. Identify the village and collaborate with the country of law others. Identify, collaborate with the state authority. Identify. They cannot enter there without passing through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 persons. And you must know them. Why is it that you don't want to denounce them? Use your guys, your elements that you are talking about. You denounce them.
For the administrative officer, the time has passed for pardons and was clear that sanctions will follow if orders given are not respected.
You need to take your responsibility into your hands, because from now we'll take severe actions. I say we'll take severe action. That issue of village council should be cancelled from today. The chief to work with the chief of blocks, so much so that you should know what is happening in each block. Why is it that they are having blocks, but they shape the block, you are not having information? If we were working with the shape the block, we could have information. First, have information on what is happening in your layout, maybe your what.
To enable smooth circulation and clear view of the main roads leading to Matuke village, Nkefo Christian gave this message to the chief of Koto Up and Matuke village.
Chiefs from Matuke to Koto Up, as people are going back today, the roads found that beside the road, they should open at least 2 kilometers. Found that beside the road, they should open them 2 kilometers. You should supervise with the check the blocks. Whether it's happening white or white on that land, they should open the roads. It should be clean, everything should be down. Yeah.
The crisis meeting comes on the heels of the attack that led to the death of 4 persons, amongst them a police, gendarme, soldier and a civilian on May 1, 2023. The attack has been blamed on suspected separatist fighters who left from Moyuka into Matuke village.
And now President Paul Biya, in other news, has been accused somehow of having politically and legally masterminded the arbitrary arrest and detention of over 62 Cameroon Renaissance Movement militants across the country. This is part of the contents of a letter addressed to President Paul Biya by Professor Alain Foguet from his detention cell in Yaoundé. For me, Armstrong Sander has more.
From the heart of his detention facility at the Kundingi Maximum Security Prison in Cameroon's political capital city, Yaoundé, Alain Foguet poured his mind to President Paul Biya, President of the Republic of Cameroon. In his letter, the National Treasurer of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, CRM political party, accused President Paul Biya of being politically and legally responsible for what he qualified as arbitrary arrest and detention of some 62 CRM party supporters, sympathizers and militants currently held in some detention facilities across Cameroon. Alain Foguet referred to them as political hostages in his letter and went further to ask for their release. Alain Foguet, who is currently serving a 7-year jail term in Yaoundé, maintained that Professor Maurice Kamto, national president of the CRM party, won the October 7, 2018 presidential election in Cameroon. He says a brief examination of the final report of some credible observers of the election in Cameroon confirms the legitimacy of the electoral victory claims of Professor Maurice Kamto. He went further to cite the declaration of the African Union Observation Mission, the government of the United States of America, and the election governing body ELECAM in Cameroon to justify and sustain his argument that the election was marred by fraud and victory taken from Professor Maurice Kamto.
And now we talk health. Today, Cameroon is joining other countries the world over to observe the World Asthma Day. And according to a pulmonologist, Dr. Bruno Tengang, 7 to 8% of the population of sub-Saharan Africa are asthmatic. The World Health Organization says most asthma-related deaths occur in low and middle-income countries where underdiagnosis and under-treatment is a challenge. Immaculate Foguet spoke with a pulmonologist who is Dr. Bruno Tengang. He explains what could trigger asthma and how possible control that condition.
At least 50% of consultations carried out by pulmonologists in Cameroon are cases of asthma. Asthma is a health condition in which a person's airways become inflamed, narrow, swollen, and produce extra mucus, making it difficult to breathe.
Just have very, very serious difficulty to breathe and to hear some wheezing while this person breathes. Sometimes this crisis arises during the night, the second part of the night, and then the person, they sit, they cannot lay down, they sit, and then you have wheezing, difficulty breathing, and so on.
The causes of asthma varies from person to person, reason why it is important for an asthmatic patient to be aware of what can trigger his or her asthmatic condition so as to keep it under control.
Asthma is an allergic illness. Asthmatics sometimes are allergic to dust, moisture, to some cats, dogs, and so on. So the only thing, and carpets, you can take out of your house, cat, dogs, the carpet, and avoid dust. I know that it's not often easy to do that, but when you do that, you can avoid some very serious crises.
Moreover, some people suffering with asthma are not allowed to carry out physical exercise as it can worsen their symptoms, particularly in cold weather.
And we also have a treatment for asthma which is easily treated. We have treatment for asthma, so don't be afraid. if you have crisis, just rush to the hospital, see a doctor. They can manage your crisis and you can avoid crisis. Treatment depends on patients. Some patients, they take it for 3 months, 6 months per year. Some, they don't need treatment. And some, they can take treatment each and every day.
Though considered deadly, if properly managed, there are greater chances of being treated of asthma. It is important for asthmatic patients to discuss all aspects of managing their asthma with a healthcare professional and use caution when considering home remedies for the condition.
Thank you, Immaculate, for that report, and also thanks to our resource person, Dr. Bruno Tingang. Now we take you back to the activities commemorating the International Day for Workers' Rights in the Southwest and Northwest regions. May 1 was observed in total insecurity in the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon. Asia Lucidi Yengu tells us that it was a very timid event in Kumba and Limbe, headquarters of the Meme and Fako divisions, respectively.
The population of Kumba in the Meme division observed the International Labour Day in total insecurity.
Workers can exhibit what they do.
Some enterprises marched past the authorities with just 3 workers.
They say water is life, and I'm sure they'll be doing everything to improve on the water quality in Kumba.
The Anglophone crisis, which has had a devastating effect on the population, workers in the Meme division used the opportunity to decry the non-payment of the salaries.
It's payment of salary, because every worker deserves their wage. Once they have offered their services, they deserve to have it. That has been a cry that people have that they sing, and also there are so many other amenities which workers do enjoy in their workplace. And in Cameroon and the nature of our country, most institutions doesn't have the capacity.
While some entrepreneurs who owned small businesses before the crisis now find it difficult to pay their workers.
Accrued salaries of my workers, because for quite some time now we have some arrears of salaries that we have not paid, and this is affecting our workers very seriously.
The senior divisional officer of Meme Division, Tundong Chamberlain, present at the grandstand, loud workers who have been devoted at their various workplaces.
I will also seize this opportunity to sincerely congratulate Meme workers who, despite the crisis, have tried their best in order to keep alive the entire Meme Division.
In Limbe, unlike Kumba, private and public enterprises entered present, with various councils, institutions, organizations represented. During the march past, interesting works of art were also displayed. Despite the smiles on their faces, the workers complain of being neglected by the government.
You cannot have people who are going to work, they do their work, and at the end of the month, they are unable to be paid. You cannot have a worker who leaves his house, leaves his family peacefully in the house. He goes to work and he does not come back home alive. He's killed. It means that there is a very difficult situation for the FACO workers.
The workers also wish the government ameliorate their working conditions.
The government has a responsibility to secure the workers on their way to work and back to their homes, and to guarantee that these workers are paid their wages as required by law.
This year's edition of the International Labour Day in the Southwest region ended in total serenity.
And now in the Northwest region, very few enterprises took part in the Labour Day activities because of insecurity, coupled with the fact that it was on a Monday, a day set to be a ghost town day. Though some people braved the odds, the march past in Bamenda and Kambe lacked the usual steam of the yesteryears. Mala Glory now takes us to the Northwest regional headquarters of Bamenda and also to Kambe.
At the Commercial Avenue Ceremonial Ground in Bamenda, workers celebrating the International Labour Day say the turnout was timid as only few public companies participated. Many still respect the ghost town day imposed on them by separatist fighters. This is as a result of the ongoing crisis which has crippled business activities and companies in the Northwest region.
So we don't tell we appeal for the regional council, say they give that opportunity.
We told the regional council that it is time for them to revamp all the sectors that were all abandoned, such as the Womb area development and the Santa Coffee, which has been closed for a long time, thus leaving many unemployed.
Get time for go revamp these places, they will occupy most of those people in the
And in Kambe, headquarters of the Donga Mountain Division, workers came out in their numbers to express their different challenges hampering work progress in the locality.
But then, as for us here in this part of the country, in Kambe, as a tailor, we face the challenge of lack of electricity, which make us not to work so well, and also the issue of bad roads, that our materials don't meet us as expected, and also the cost that is being too expensive because of the bad road, and then the cost of transportation that affects us too much. But then we thank God we've celebrated the day and we are fine.
Thank you very much.
The lack of electricity and bad road network has negatively affected several localities in the division. However, the senior divisional officer of the Donga Mountain says he is happy for the Labor Day turnout.
So this edition, populations have trooped in from all the 5 subdivisions of the division to celebrate the day, to show the world that in Donga Mountain they eat from their sweat, to show that in Donga Mountain the workers and the employers work in harmony. This is part of our secret in orientating the peace of the division.
From public to private companies, the people marched past the grandstand. Locals from all walks of life marked present, showcasing their products and demonstrating their professional competence. The workers ended up by calling on everyone to take every work in life serious.
For those who are celebrating today, it's just that they should keep up with their job. They should not relent their effort in doing what they are doing, because there is no small job in life. Anything that you can put food on the table.
We stay in Bamenda to present to you this spectacular show of a lady who marched with a pot of food that is cookie. She told our Northwest regional correspondent Bruce Tellers that it is her own way of decrying the rising insecurity in the Northwest region and Southwest region of the country, and also the ever-increasing high cost of living in Cameroon.
Rebecca, not her real name, is among those marching across the commercial venue on May 1st, Labor Day. She popped up at the grandstand with a peace plan in one hand and on her head a bowl of koki, a local meal she prepares and hawks daily. Rebecca tells Equinoxe television that out of her daily koki business, she used to feed her family and educate her children, but the now 6 years armed conflict and the recent increase in prices of goods is making her labor in vain. Rebecca's march could be likened to a protest. She demands an end to hostilities and a reduction in the prices of goods. I'm pleading on the government to help us reduce the prices of basic goods. Before the crisis, price controls used to limit the prices of goods, but these days we no longer see them around. The high prices affects me terribly. Solidarity forever, solidarity. Rebecca's ordeal is similar to that of 1.7 million people in the Northwest and Southwest regions, according to the April 23rd Situation Report of the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. It is Rebecca's desire that her cry for peace from the Commercial Avenue grandstand be heard.
And now we talk something else. Tribalism and hate speech has recently been gradually taking center stage in our Cameroonian society. It is now commonplace to hear compatriots telling others to go back to their areas of origin, unfortunately, reason for which peace crusader Barrister Nico Hale, during a book launch on love and living together, says only love can bring to an end the pain, killings, atrocities, and several corruption scandals plaguing the Cameroonian society. Let's now have more with Innocent Aze.
Peace, love and living together, preached by President Paul Biya's administration, is yet to be absorbed by some Cameroonians. This is evidenced by rising tribalism and hate speech in some parts of the country, resulting to conflicts and other social ills.
The Lord has blessed us with everything, and we have everything but love. That's what is lacking in society. If you don't love, you will not be honest, so therefore there will be no justice. If you don't love, there will be no equity. If you don't love, you will not be transparent. If you don't love, you will not be accountable. If you don't love, you will not have integrity, dignity, and honor. If you don't love, you will not have patriotism in you. You don't love your nation.
Peace advocates Barrister Tumfo Nico Hale stressed the destroyed society can be fixed again by the upcoming generation, who must arm themselves with love.
We have destroyed society. We pray that this generation of youth that is coming up should rather fix what we have destroyed. You can't do that without love, and love has to do with obedience, respect, humility also, honesty, hard work. If you love yourself, you must work, you must earn what you are living on. You will not steal, you will not embezzle, you will not misappropriate, you will not twist figures to make money.
He enjoined the youth to walk on the path of Mbamasa Thomas, follower of Christ, song and book writer.
Boundless love to me, I think, is one of the long-awaited tools that I've waited to release it to the public. Because in a generation like ours where people are bleeding everywhere, I thought it much that I could contribute to solve the pain, the hurt that people are going through, the trauma that people are facing every day. So Boundless Love is a book that has been designed to help people overcome trauma of all sorts, to help people who are living, children who are living on the street know that they are also important, know that they have a lot of value to contribute to the community and to the society. So Boundless Love to me is a masterpiece to help people build relationships from the families, the community, the government, and the people, even at the job site.
Ntumfo Barrister Nico Hale at the Boundless Love book launch in Douala urged everyone to make the Cameroonian society a peaceful and beautiful haven by implanting and nurturing within them the seeds of boundless love.
The book launch is having the right people in the hall.
Thank you so much, Innocent Aze, for that report, which brings us to the end of the first part of the news. Viewers, don't go away. Talking Points comes up next. Stay with us. Welcome back, viewers. Cameroon public debt increases by 489% in 13 years, raises fear of debt distress. Business in Cameroon. Cameroon's public debt exploded by 489% from 1.900 billion franc CFA in 2009 to about 11 billion franc CFA in 2022. The Autonomous Amortization Fund revealed in a recent note. Now, we are receiving an entrepreneur who is also a business coach. He is Boris Ngala. Boris, thank you so much for accepting to be our guest tonight on Talking Point. My very first question goes thus: how important, if actually there is any importance, of public debt to a nation?
I don't think it's a good sign of development for any country that their debts be on the increase. I don't think it's a good sign of innovation, of development, or peace. Because, you know, when debt is on the increase, there are a lot of things that are at stake. So it's not a good sign, to be honest. It's not a good sign for the country, for its citizens. It's not a good sign and a good sign for the economy. It's not a good sign for a healthy economy, for a country to have its debt soaring up high.
And now, what are some of the adverse consequences or effects of public debt to a country?
The adverse effect of increase of debt cannot be overemphasized, because it slows down development. It slows down development. You see, the country will be forced to impose some laws, especially in terms of taxation, in order to get the country to pick up the economy, to keep running. When that is done, it plays down on businesses that sustain the state. If tax goes up due to the debt that they're trying to pay, small and medium-sized enterprises will suffer. Of course, that means if you look at Cameroon, and statistically speaking, how many businesses that survive from the start of the business, most businesses have the lifespan of 3 years only. And I think that tax also has a greater share to contribute to this, apart from the fact that people are not patient at doing things around here, apart from the fact that people just do things because they want to make money, not solving a problem, apart from the fact that people are not very conscious when they are taking an action or engagement into a business sector.
And now, is it possible, Mr. Boris Ngala, for a country to run normally without debt or borrowing from other partners?
No, a country, I'm not sure, can solely, there is no island. The answer to that question is there is no island. No one is an island. So a company, just an example, a company is run by either the founder or the owner or a board or corporation or so. They don't run on their own. They have partners. You cannot do it alone. There is no one man. It's not a one-man show. And I'm talking about a company. But here we're talking about a more complex situation, or a complex subject, which is a country. A country cannot run its activities without having external partners extending their hand of empathy, extending their hand of goodwill to help them run a better economy. I think it's not possible. I think the priority here should be investment. The priority here should not be consumption but production. The priority here should not be what we're getting for those up there, but about having an economy that cares about the welfare of the country, a country that cares about the welfare of its citizens, that puts its citizens first.
And now, as a business coach, you call that investment, but they are actually debts. Now, what kind of debts are advisable for a country, a company, or even a private individual?
You as a person, myself as a person, we are in one of the most blessed countries on planet Earth, embedded with natural resources, embedded with amazing talent, and one of the main resources that the country has is its youth. It is its youth. It's not even just the natural resources. We have great potential, but they are all locked. They need to be tapped into. They need keys to unlock that potential that can bring a boom or boast, whatever you would call it a boast or a boom. But we need not just the natural resources. The greater population of this country is made up of the youth. 60 to 65% of this country is made up of youth, and that is the strength of this country. That's the strength of the country. So we cannot overemphasize that. For me, I think we are blessed. We shouldn't be depending on the West to dilly-dally with us or to show us the way. We should determine our own destinies, because the West, no matter how good they are, they have their interests, and they don't care about your citizens. They have proven it over the years. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. They have proven it over the years that the debts they're giving you, the finger they're giving you, they will take it back with two hands, and we cannot continue doing things the way it is being done. If you are doing one thing and having the same result, and you're not satisfied with that result, you should change your metrics. You should change your approach. You should change your ways of doing things, not depending on the West. And I'm happy with what the governments are doing right now. I think that there is a change. There is a bit of change. You see, there's some decentralization. It's not just about the West. It's about some specific countries of the West. But now things are changing. And some head of states, I can applaud them because they know what they're doing. They know how they're tackling the issues. They're not centralizing everything on one country.
Okay, but it's not depending on the West is actually the ideal, but we know that most African nations depend on the West. They always take loans. Now, how should these loans be properly managed to the benefit of the local population in Africa, Cameroon in this context?
Normally, a state that is conscious of development, a state that is conscious of innovation, a state that is conscious of the welfare of its citizens, wants a productive economy, an economy of production, not consumption. They want, just like some other Asian countries that you know, like China, so to speak, their economy is an economy of production. They're not consuming. They're producing, and that's why they are one of world power today. They invest more in production than consumption. And that is just to let you know, or that is just to bring to the table that they are conscious of the welfare of their citizens. They're conscious of the welfare of the economy. They want the country to work. And for the country to work, if at all they have to engage in loans and debts, that has to be channeled to production, channeled to investment into government-owned corporations, not privatizing government state properties or government-owned properties, but ensuring that government, for instance, own their own airlines, own some sectors in agriculture that is producing. The government owns it, because while the government owns that, the economy is able to, work, of course. So an economy that is an economy of consumption can never beat an economy that is an economy of production. So loaning, having loans to consume, to have cars for government officials and all of that is great. It's amazing. It's something that everyone should, vouch for, because we want people in authority to be comfortable. But it is not going to do good to the citizens, to the patriotic citizens of a state or a country, because consumption will lead us nowhere, but production will help us to be on the map.
Last question before we go. How do all the aspects you've highlighted above affect payback? Because we know after taking loans, there is always a payback time.
First of all, there must be accountability. There must be accountability. Management without accountability is zero. When you talk about management, you must first of all talk about accountability. And accountability speaks of transparency. Transparency. When a loan is taken for a particular purpose, there should also be priorities Why is the money being taken? Priorities should be taken first before any other thing else. Every other thing else is just like the low-hanging fruit. So we are taking this loan in order to invest into agriculture. Boom, let it goes down to agriculture. It shouldn't swindle its way into some different ministries and find its, and at the end of the day, there is no justification. So there must be transparency, there must be accountability, and you have to prioritize the list of things that you are looking at doing. And that means you have to do it. There must be follow-up. And when there is accountability, there is transparency, we have our priorities right, of course, the money will be well managed. But I think that's what we are lacking in some areas. I will not say all, but some.
Thank you, Barry Singala, for accepting to be our guest on Talking Points. Viewers, the entire production crew and myself say thank you so much for always being with us. Don't go away as usual. Our programs continue in about 30 minutes or so. Equinoxe with Serge Alango 2 and the news in the French language comes up at 8 p.m. with Julien Beth Bissai. Thank you once again for always being with us, and stay with us on Equinoxe Television.